Contingency Log, number 104. Codename, The Brains. Deep under the city of New York, hidden from the world above in fear of what the public could do should they ever be found, lay a family who have lived and trained together from within the shadows of the sewers. Mutated animals who have become a family and a team. I am, of course, speaking of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a team which I am sure many of you are incredibly familiar with regardless of their iteration. There are many to choose from, but for the sake of this contingency, I have chosen to use the material from the 2003 series. I have also split up each of the turtles into their own video, so that each can have their proper attention. And I have chosen to start with the one who dons a purple mask. Donatello, named after the Italian sculptor, would develop differently when compared to his brothers. He's not the strongest, nor the fastest, but where he lacks in physical aptitude, he has more than made up for it when it comes to his mind. To simply call him smart would be a disservice to his intelligence, especially given he is self-taught. Similar to the man of whom he got his name, Donatello is an incredible craftsman, but rather than use stone and clay, Donatello uses steel and circuitry. If you see any of the other turtles making use of any form of gadget, it was Donatello who'd made it. But he's made more than just a simple cell phone, or shell phone as they call it. And if you're curious, yes, they are for the most part all given turtle-like names. Not just being capable of constructing various forms of vehicles, from motorcycles to armored trucks, but also capable of constructing helicopters, which fly with ease. All of this accomplished through scavenging through any and all materials he can get his hands on, something he has no short of given his circumstance. As stated, the turtles call the concrete streets of New York their home, and on average this city throws out over 14 million tons of garbage every year. And as the saying goes, one man's trash is another man's treasure. And for someone as mechanically inclined as Donatello, every city dumping ground may as well be considered his hoard. Now, while technology may be his main focus, Donatello is capable of more than just that. Being trained along with his brothers under his father, Hamato Yoshi, or Splinter, as he would later call himself. Training for roughly over a decade in the arts of ninjutsu and martial arts, and while he isn't as capable as his brothers in a fight, he is more than able to pull his own weight when facing various other foes, not just being able to handle multiple members of the Foot Clan, ninjas who are trained under the watch of the Shredder, but he's also managed to battle against multiple mechanized foes and even some alien species. He may not be the strongest turtle, but he's more than proven his might. I should take a moment to mention something, or rather, to get it out of the way now before my videos of the other brothers. I am aware of a time where Donatello was capable of channeling chi energy through the use of the Amulet of the Acolytes, a medallion which he wore around his neck that allowed him to channel this power. Doing so, granting him an increase to his physical abilities, making him faster and stronger to superhuman degrees. And when he managed to channel enough energy, Donatello was able to transform into a dragon, likely the peak of the power this Donatello managed to obtain, something he could no longer accomplish due to the amulet being destroyed soon after he changed back. While I've spoken on Donatello's abilities in combat and technology, he is more than just that. Despite being kept out of the sight of humanity, he was capable of adjusting to the outside world rather quickly, not just making friends with humans, but in particularly with that of New York's homeless population. Not just making friends with them, but even going out of his way to protect them when in danger. He was raised right, that much is certain, and I must tip my cowl to his father for raising 4 sons of different personalities as properly as he did. To counter Donatello, I must first remove his technology from the equation, perhaps through the use of an electromagnetic pulse to disable them. Though that said, I wouldn't mind pitting my own technology against his own, though this may be a bit of a competitive side to me speaking. That said, should the battle come to a physical confrontation, especially in a one-on-one situation. I believe myself more than capable of handling him, this being due to other versions of myself having had confronted other versions of Donatello as well. However, I cannot use that as a guarantee, as every version of him in the multiverse has different levels of strengths and weaknesses. At the end of it all, however, even if it comes down to a case of Donatello turning to the dark side, my hand in defeating him would more than likely bring the wrath of the rest of his family, each more powerful than the last, and each bringing their own strength to the mix. This is only the first video, as I have many more to make. With each, I'll become more prepared and have learned other means to subdue the turtles. And hopefully, all of this can be done as cleanly as possible. If you also have a character you wish for me to cover, or just want to support this channel, I'll have a link to my Ko-fi page. There will also be a Google Doc with the list of characters who have ever been done or already commissioned by others.